All right, so hardship licenses versus conditional licenses. We talked about the hardship license that covers the first 30 days after your arrest, and then after that you can apply, like you said, for a conditional license?
That's correct. What happens is that in the first instance when the judge takes your license away, you are eligible, you may be eligible, not everybody is, but you may be eligible for a hardship license. If there's a refusal, you are not eligible for a hardship license. But provided that there is an allegation of a reading of .08 or more, and the judge is now taking your license away, you can apply for the hardship license. I refer to that as the Cinderella license. It allows you to drive to and from your home to your place of business, to and from medical appointments, and to and from school. You have to be able to substantiate that you have a job. You have to substantiate where you work, the hours you work. You have to substantiate how much money you make. You have to substantiate, if you're a student, where you go to school, what your classes are, your class schedule, and of course if you have these doctor's appointments. And then being able to demonstrate to the court that there are really no buses or trains that you can take, and nobody can drive you. If you live with somebody who can drive you, you're not eligible either. It has to be a hardship, extreme financial hardship. You can demonstrate that, then the judge can give you a license on each particular day of the week, Saturday through the following, through Sunday, Sunday through Saturday, whatever your schedule for work is, whatever your schedule for school is, whatever the time is that you leave your house, and as much time as it takes you to get to your location, and then your license goes away again, just like Cinderella. At 12 o'clock, your car turns back into a pumpkin. And then, when it's time to come home from work, your license is active again. So on the typical 9 to 5 person, if you leave your house at 8 o'clock and you get to your job at 8:45, you have a license from 8 o'clock to 8:45. 8:46, no more license. If you leave your place of business at 5:15 until 6, no license until 5:15, and at 6 o'clock your license again goes away. After 30 days, if you're eligible, you can then go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and you can get a conditional license for a fee. And the conditional license will allow you also to drive to and from work, but it is not as restrictive as the hardship license. It also gives you time on the weekends to do your personal business. You need to go shopping and go to cleaners or what you need to do. So it's a step up. And then your conditional license will remain in effect until such time as you are eligible to get your full license back, whenever that is.
All right, so what happens if you don't get a hardship license, so you don't even bother to fight the driver's license suspension? How long in a first DUI, a second, will you have it suspended for?
Okay. If you don't apply for a hardship license, as soon as you go to arraignment to say not guilty the first time the judge takes your license away, you have no driving privileges until somebody gives them back to you, such as a hardship license. You don't want that? No license until you can go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and apply for and get a conditional license if you're eligible, or if you want it. Until that happens, there's no license. Then, depending on the outcome of your case, the next step will come into play regarding your license. For instance, your case gets dismissed, or there's an outcome that does not involve alcohol, such as a traffic violation or something else. Then you get your full license back. Your case gets resolved with a lesser crime of a driving while impaired, a DWAI or a DUI. Then there's a license suspension post-conviction, not having anything to do with before. Now your case is finished, you lose your license for 90 days. During that 90-day period, again, you are eligible for a conditional license. And at the end of that 90-day period, whatever the Department of Motor Vehicles wants you to do, during that period, such as the DDP, the Drink and Driver Program, the Victim Impact Panel, the VIP, anything else, any fines, anything that's out there, then you're eligible to apply again to the Department of Motor Vehicles for the reinstatement of your license. Your license never comes back. People don't understand this, and we've had instances years later where people get stopped for a common traffic violation, only to find out that their license is still suspended or revoked because they never went back to the Department of Motor Vehicles. So after the 90-day period is up, you first have to go back to the Department of Motor Vehicles to ask them for permission pay whatever the fees are, do whatever the DMV has you do, and they will now give you your regular license back. On a conviction by plea or some trial or any other method for a driving while intoxicated offense, after that happens, there is a mandatory license revocation. At which time, 6 months minimum, your license is revoked. Again, before you can get it back, go into the Department of Motor Vehicles, drinking driver program, victim impact panel. On a revocation, another road test, and you get your license back at that time. And there are instances where people are not eligible to get their license back for a full year, aggravated driving while intoxicated. Some people can't get their license back for 3 or 5 years if they're on probation, felony cases, and some people may never get their license back. Again, all the post-conviction license issues now are out of the court system and go into the Department of Motor Vehicles.
All right, so what happens if people try to chance it and they drive while they don't have driving privileges?
It's a chance. Nothing's illegal until you get caught. If you get caught driving without a license, depending on why it's suspended and when it was suspended and what you're caught doing, it can be anywhere from a traffic violation up to a felony of driving with a suspended license. And as a felony, you could actually go to jail just for the driving without a license.
Well, that's a question. All right, so if you're charged with DWI, though, and your license is suspended and you get caught while it's suspended specifically for that reason, what's the penalties to you?
That's a felony charge of aggravated driving with a suspended license. It carries with it as a felony itself a jail sentence. You could get probation, but it carries with it the possibility of going to jail for more than a year for that offense of driving while your license is suspended for DWI.
So that's incredibly serious.
That's very serious. We do not suggest that people ever drive without having a license. It's valid.